What if you could stop wasting time staring at your blank journal page and just know exactly what to ask yourself? And bonus, what if those questions would help you lose weight too? My friend, not only do I have the solution here on today's podcast, but I've also got a brand new free resource for you with the 4 most effective journaling prompts for faster weight loss. Listen, anybody can help you lose weight after menopause by restricting yourself and using willpower, but my zone of genius is helping you lose all the weight you want and keep it off forever by changing your mindset. Welcome to the Get Your Goal podcast, where ambitious menopausal women come to lose weight for the last time. I'm your host, Paula B., certified life and weight loss coach, author of Mind Over Menopause, and former yo-yo dieter. When you're ready to change your mind about weight loss, I'm here to help. Let's get your goal. Hello, my ambitious menopausal friend, and welcome to the podcast. It's been a minute, and I am so happy to be back in my minivan recording a brand new episode for you. I am really excited to dig into this topic with you today. And before we even get into it, let me tell you about the free resource that you can download as a guide for your daily journaling. It's called The 4 Most Effective Journaling Prompts for Faster Weight Loss. Roll credits, and there's a link in the show notes, or you can grab it right on my homepage at getyourgoal.com. I'm sure you started wondering, my beautiful skeptical friend, as soon as you read the title of this episode, why do these prompts work? Why are they, quote unquote, effective? And how do they actually speed up weight loss? I am so glad you asked. Here's the dealio. No matter what you're doing in life, you will be better served by working with biology instead of against it. And here's the thing to know about biology. We humans are automatically and efficiently always seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. And instead of trying to override this with willpower or self-control or discipline or restriction or hard work, which are all the tactics you've been told to use throughout your entire life, there's actually an easier way. You can just work with biology. And it's easier than you think. And it all comes down to this. You simply prioritize pleasure and reduce pain. So these journaling prompts are really effective because they shine a light on what's pleasurable for you, and they make it very clear where you're trying to force yourself to do something. And I don't necessarily mean something like physically painful. I mean like emotionally unpleasant or uncomfortable, like denying yourself your favorite foods or making yourself exercise in ways that you don't enjoy. Now, I'm also going to give you extra points for skepticism if you're wondering how in the world these prompts will actually help you lose weight faster. I love this question, and I will tell you that this is a concept that I am really leaning into on my way to my own goal right now. Simplicity and systems equal speed. When you are taking a big, long-term goal like weight loss and trying to untangle all of the different mindset blocks that you might have, it can feel like an incredibly daunting task. But breaking it down into natural, understandable chunks, simplicity, that you can tackle with repeatable processes, systems, it's the fastest way to get to any goal. Once again, we're working with biology here. Your brain loves to categorize information, and it is literally hardwired to enjoy and use repetition. So these 4 journaling prompts, they're like a win-win-win-win situation as far as biology is concerned. So let's dig in. Here are the 4 most effective journaling prompts for faster weight loss. Exactly how to use them and when they're most useful on your weight loss journey. Effective journaling prompt number 1 is, what do I want? This one is really good right at the very beginning of your weight loss journey when you're deciding on your goal weight and your habits. And here's the thing, it is such a simple question, but it's the one that we hardly ever remember to ask ourselves. Instead, we waste time and slow ourselves down with a question like, what is a reasonable weight for me to get to? Now, here's the thing. I absolutely applaud your desire to be practical. I am all about practicality. But the problem with this question, or others like it, like, what does my doctor think I should weigh? Or what would a healthy weight be? Or what BMI should I aim for? Is that there is literally no pleasure in that answer. At best, you're watering yourself down and aiming for something like it's not that bad. And at worst, you are screeching your weight loss journey to a complete halt before you even get going. Now compare those questions with asking yourself what you want, what you desire, what you would enjoy. What would feel dreamy and delicious and amazing and sexy and like everything you've wanted your body to feel like? Seriously, can you feel how different this question is than what's reasonable? What do you want? This question is also really good for when you're working on creating habits, like tracking your calories if you choose to track calories, or weighing yourself if you choose to weigh yourself, or getting in your water, which I'm actually not even going to give you an option on that one. You do need to drink water, or exercise. You do have options on that one because exercise has literally nothing to do with weight loss. It just feels good and it is good for your health, but it has nothing to do with weight loss. Anyways, instead of asking yourself, what do I have to do to lose weight, which is an even blurrier question than what's reasonable, ask yourself, what do I want to do? And I mean this for reals. When do you want to go to bed? How much do you want to eat? What kinds of meals do you want to eat? The more you lean into what you want, what you desire, pleasure, and the more you remove yourself from shoulds and have-tos, pain, the faster and easier weight loss will be. Effective journaling prompt number 2. What do I think about? And then you're going to fill in the blank, and I'm going to tell you exactly how here in just a second. This question is super effective when you have really good intentions to do something. And I mean, we've all been there. You suddenly find yourself not following through. I mean, you know, consistency is key, and it really seems like you could eat your calories or drink your water, but for whatever reason, you're just not doing it. And we all use that phrase too, for whatever reason. And then we let it drop as though that's an actual explanation, or as though there isn't an explanation, like it's all just a big mystery. But there is an explanation. Of course there is. Your actions are literally never a mystery. The reason you do things is because you're seeking pleasure. And the reason you don't do things like getting up with your alarm or getting out your journal or tracking your calories is because you're avoiding pain. And again, I'm not talking about physical pain, but emotional discomfort. There is something about the habit that you're trying to create that your brain doesn't like. So instead of forcing yourself to do it anyway, working against biology, you just gently and curiously come to your journal and you ask, what do I think about? And then you fill in that blank with the habit or the behavior that you've been finding yourself not doing. And a quick note of clarification here, because I see this all the time. You're not asking yourself, what do I think about not doing that task? Meaning, like, you don't ask, what do I think about eating way over my calorie target? Because all you're going to find there is recrimination and judgment. That's not actually useful information. What you're looking for is the reason why you're avoiding your calorie target. But asking yourself why won't actually help you either. You have a thought about your calorie target that is painful, emotionally painful. So when you ask yourself, what do I think about that task? Like magic, it'll become very clear that you actually hate going to bed early, or you really can't stand drinking water at night, or that tracking calories feels claustrophobic. So now you know why you're not doing what you intended. You lovely product of biology, are seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. So instead of continuing to force yourself to go against nature, you can use good old question number 1 again and ask yourself, what do I want? And set your habits from there. enjoyable, pleasurable habits that you can be consistent with are the ones that will take you to your goal weight. Yes, faster. Effective journaling prompt number 3. What did I make that mean about me? Okay, now we're really getting into the good stuff. And this is where journaling really speeds you up instead of letting you stay stuck. Somewhere in the middle of your weight loss journey, and possibly more than once, you will come to a plateau. You just will. Everybody does. And it's not your body, it's your brain. And if you're like everybody I have ever worked with ever, you will spin your journaling wheels here, asking yourselves questions like, what am I doing wrong? Or what am I missing? Or what do I need to change? Or what if this is just my body's set weight? But none of these questions move you forward. You're not doing anything wrong. You are not missing anything. You don't need to change anything. And that myth about set points has been debunked. What's actually going on here is that your brain has made an association with the weight that you, quote unquote, can't get past. This is just biology. Your brain is always clumping things together. And remember, we're working with biology instead of fighting against it. So what you're going to do is brainstorm on the number that seems sticky and find out what your association is. Is that what you weighed when you lost your job, or when you moved away from a neighborhood you loved, or when one of your parents got sick? Your brain has made that weight and that event, whatever it is, mean something about you. So when you've brainstormed and figured out what the association is, you ask yourself, what did I make that mean about me? And then you listen to the answer. And that right there, that uncomfortable thing you just heard about being a loser or a failure or weak or helpless or out of control or all alone in the world or whatever, the pain, emotional pain of that feeling is what's stopping you from getting to that weight. It's really wild, right? Like, obviously your weight has nothing to do with the event, but your brain thinks that it does. And we're working with biology here instead of fighting against it. And instead of telling ourselves that it doesn't make sense or shouldn't be this way, the truth of it is this way. And your next step here is to actually allow yourself to just feel that feeling instead of shoving it down and pretending that it doesn't exist. And let me tell you something. I have done this work myself, and I have helped dozens of women inside the Get Your Goal membership do this work, and it works. Feeling your feelings releases you from the association and lets you lose the weight you want to lose much faster than you would if you had just stayed there spinning your wheels and wondering what you're doing wrong. Effective journaling prompt number 4, who am I at my goal weight? Oh my gosh, this is such a great question. And you can actually use it at any point along your weight loss journey to really speed things up. When you ask yourself, who am I at my goal weight? It gives you a chance to experience the pleasure of already weighing your goal weight, which helps your brain move towards it. I mean, I know I have really hammered this home, but I'm going to say it again. We are always seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. So intentionally creating pleasure for yourself by picturing your future self, imagining yourself at your goal weight, my friend, it speeds you up. Oh my gosh. Let me recap for you here, and I will also remind you that you can download my free guide with these 4 journaling prompts from getyourgoal.com. Prompt number 1 is, what do I want? Prompt number 2 is, what do I think about? And you fill in the blank with the specific task that you notice yourself not being consistent with. Prompt number 3 is to brainstorm the associations your brain has made with certain weights and events, and then ask, what did I make that mean about me? And prompt number 4 is, who am I at my goal weight? Oh my gosh, such good stuff today. Go download the freebie, Journal with Simplicity and Systems, so you can lose weight faster. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you again soon.